welcome to night 37. That's 37, halfway to 74, of Fun with Cheese. Tonight's episode is entitled Kicking It Old School. But, as always, before we begin, our friends of the show tonight. Got a new hat from my brother-in-law, Dave Bangart, who sits on both the boards of the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, which is formerly the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board, in charge of doing all the marketing and getting cheese out there. If you go to wisconsincheese.com, you're going to see all the cool work that they do to provide milk and other products, cheese products, and show you how you can use those in your meals, in your classrooms, in your fridge, on your cheese platters, and all those other wonderful things that are out there. Gave me another idea for something you guys to check out, which is called Great Pair Share. Great, G-R-A-T-E, Pair and Share. Look it up. It's a really cool magazine. It's going to give you a lot of cool ideas for cooking, entertaining, things like that. Something to wow your kids with or your parents with if you want to put those things together. He also sits on a Land O'Lakes board, and Land O'Lakes is a cooperative, which I mentioned before, and that's a cool thing. So, like the hat. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. We're in the Milwaukee coat tonight. Those of you who live in my warmer climates, you don't know what a Milwaukee coat is. Push the little button, it turns on. It's a heated jacket. It's pretty cool. It's cold outside. Once again, I just got to tell you, it's cold outside. But it heats down the arms, in the chest, in the back. It's like having a heated seat on. So, tonight we're going to do a little time traveling. And in that time traveling, we're going to take you back to the year 2005. 15 years ago. It's the year that Dan Rather retired from CBS News. It's the year that Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey broke up. That one's for you, Matt Carroll. It is the year that Pope Benedict succeeds Pope John Paul, and Pope John Paul passed away. It is the year that Hurricane Katrina made landfall on the U.S. Gulf Coast, causing severe damage. Pope John Paul dies at 84. There were all kinds of things. Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson was the huge song. Candy Shop by 50 Cent. Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani. Top movies were Wedding Crashers, Madagascar, and Walk the Line, that story about Johnny Cash. Harry Potter, The Goblet of Fire was released that year. Big sunglasses, flip-flops, flared leg jeans, and all kinds of crazy things. Now, on that, YouTube, which we're broadcasting on, was founded and had its first broadcast in 2005. So that's kind of a cool little deal. And I'm sorry we're 3 minutes in, but I have to give you the story here. Commodities at that point, a gallon of milk in 2005 was $3.21 a gallon. A dozen eggs was $1.27. A loaf of bread was $1.05. A postage stamp was 37 cents. A new car was $28,000. A gallon of gas is $2.34. Now, compare that to today's costs. And I had to bring this out because if you don't know, farmers in this day and age are in a crisis. And it doesn't matter if you're a milk producer, a beef producer, grain producer. This economy has put our producers in a pretty bad way. And to give you an idea, if you didn't know, what they were receiving for 100 pounds of milk in 2005 was $12.34. And 2005 was not a good agricultural year. This year, it's predicted that milk will be low $10 a hundred for the month of May. Butter was at $1.71. This is what they were trading at in the Chicago Board of Trade. $1.26 for this month. June cheese was $1.54 for a 40-pound block, and this month. Next month it's going to $1.19. Soybeans were $6.74, and this is the only uptick. They're at $8.42, but still $9 beans are what is profitable and what we break even at. Crude oil was at $51 a barrel, and this today closed at $14.26. Hogs were at $68 a 100 pounds. So they get paid $68 for 100 pounds, and an average hog is about 250 pounds. So they were getting about $175 a hog. Hogs are 42 and down right now. $42 a hundredweight. That means they get about $100 for a finished hog. Cattle at that time where it was $80 a hundred, so you get $800 for 1,000 pound. 15 years later, it's going down and it's $84. New car, $40,000. These are all things that have changed over time. But what egg prices and what farmers receive is not following inflation, and it's a disheartening thing. But the reason I went back to 2005 is because in our cheese world, I owe this to you because I didn't get my show out last night, and I needed to show you this. All those events that I told you were a 2005 event, the same year that this cheese was made. Now, this cheese has appreciated in value, and the reason they can do that, and you take an aged cheese like this, it has pushed out all the moisture that it possibly has. The salt, it may look moldy, it is not. That is salt concentration that has caused, the pressure has caused all that salt to move to the surface. There's very little moisture. It is a hard cheese. It is going to crumble and be pasty inside your mouth. Cheese can be aged in several different areas. Number one, it can be aged in a cooler. Okay, they get it wrapped up tight, put it in aseptic packaging, put it in here, and they put it on a shelf. And cheddar ages like that. We have surface ripened cheeses like our Cambozola from last night. Our Cambozola, okay, is a surface ripened cheese, and that one sits out and it is sitting there. It's not wrapped in plastic. It doesn't ripen from within the package itself. So it can be a surface ripened. The longer it ages, Swiss is one of those things where the gases give off and create those bubbles inside. The longer it ages, the bigger the bubbles. So cheese can be aged in caves. If you go up to Marika Gouda in Thorpe, it's aged on pine planks in their affinage area. For those of you who don't know what aging with cheesemakers is called, it's called affinage. It can be put into a high humidity area if it's a very moist cheese. It can be salt rubbed to draw that moisture out, just like if you're salt curing a ham, if you were a Luke Bryan fan. It can be surface ripened. It can be aged in massive warehouses, and it can also be aged in small areas like in caves or in root cellars that people did years and years ago. So I wanted to share this with you because I do owe you this one, because YouTube failed me, and 15 years ago I didn't even know that they existed. But this is our cheese, and it breaks and it crumbles and it has a sweet salty tang of 2005. And I have to tell you that when this is over, I encourage all of you to go find something that is beyond 3 years, because it's been well worth the wait. This aged cheese, as you know, has annatto in it, which means that it's colored from that bean in South America added to it. They say that coloring is one of the things that makes a cheese appealing to the customer, and this color is held up rather well. Just remember, this is not mold, this is all a salty push on the outside. 15 years. The oldest cheese was by Zahn Cheese. Ed Zahn had a 40-year-old block sitting in the corner of his cheese factory. When it closed, he found it, and he got to cut a 40-year-old block of cheese. And it currently holds the world record for the oldest block of cheese ever to be eaten. So, now you know. So, but this is a 15-year. Is this the oldest cheese that's out there that you can purchase on the market? Absolutely not. There's 18s. In very closed corners, you can find 20s. But I highly suggest that you go for something that is beyond a year. Test your palate. You might learn to like this stuff. I know I do, and it's delicious. So, until tomorrow, thank a farmer, get to know a farmer, take a tour on a farm, find out where your food comes from, because that's the big picture thing. Understand where these people are coming from and see what kind of wonderful people they are. Until tomorrow, this is Milk's step into immortality, at least 15 years later. Be good, have fun with cheese.